the blue of the western sky comes Sky King. As we say here in the West.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another Classic Television Smackdown, where each and every other Friday we revisit our past, our youth. We're time travelers, if you didn't know that or not. And whereas on our Saturday morning cartoons show, we talk about animation. Okay, Saturday morning cartoons, not just animation. I guess Land of the Lost and HR Puffin stuff wasn't all animation, but on every other Friday, we talk about live action, classic stuff from our past, going as far back as the 50s, I think, is where we've been. Welcome to our audience. Once again, Saturday morning. Oh, here I go. Classic Television Smackdown. This is, along with Rosemarie Rose and Jerome Connor. How you guys doing?
Oh, go ahead, Rose.
Doing all right. I got my son getting ready to go to certified nursing assistant classes. So we were doing that today, getting all the stuff you have paperwork done for that.
He doesn't have to wear one of those hats that
no, they don't have that anymore, unfortunately. But it would have been nice for him to see. I would like to see the candy striper, small.
Oh yeah,
no candy stripers. There's too many films about candy stripers.
I thought they were pretty damn cool. So he doesn't have to wear any candy striper stuff either.
No, just gray. It's gray colored scrubs. That's what he's gonna wear.
Yeah, because we don't want to do the candy striper because there's a whole lot of movies on there that
I think he would have looked cute in his knickers.
I'm going to try not to cough too much on this show. I am convinced that seasonally, around flu season or whatever, I get the COVID cough, and it's a byproduct of when I had COVID. And that's the only thing, because my symptoms are fine. I don't feel, I just got this irritating cough that I'm just going to have to wait it through. So
you don't have allergies? You don't have allergies?
I'm not allergic to anything, except white people. But other than that,
I thought you might be allergic to hurricanes, because we might have a hurricane this week.
We're waiting. So Wednesday.
I thought you were allergic to stupid people.
Well, that's it. That's what I meant to say. I am definitely allergic to stupid people. But upcoming Wednesday, we're up for a dinger of something coming our way. We have gone through this entire hurricane season. Hurricane season ends in November, I think, the first of November. And it had to wait until like close to the last month, before they say, hey, we let you guys go through the entire summer with great weather and blah, blah, blah. But okay, fun's over. Time for you guys to freak out.
I'll tell you, those October ones you got to watch them. You got to watch them.
Yeah.
We got Hurricane Wilma come through here in October. You got to watch them.
Yeah. And Fred was pissed. She left the house. Sorry. That's what we do here. So today is where'd you see Mike?
Mike, it says here on Mike Gilati is watching. It's on my screen that.
Yeah, but where is he?
I don't know. He was there.
He must be. He might be
on the Facebook, John.
Yeah, Mike, tell us. Well, how are you going to tell us, Mike? Well, tell Jerome. Tell us where you are, where you're watching from.
Yeah.
But yeah, usually.
Oh, there he is. I see him.
Oh, he's there. What did you do, Mike? Where do you come from, strange guy?
We're glad to have you back. You've been missing the past couple of times.
Great picture too, by the way. So look, let me tell you guys. All right, I had this premonition. Well, it wasn't a premonition. I had this recall. I had a recall session when I woke up in the morning, and for some bizarre reason, I found myself on a Sunday night at 7 p.m.
Uh-oh.
Okay, 7 p.m., of course, in the 60s, so it had to be...
Was that Disney or was it 60 Minutes and whatever? Yeah.
No, it's 68, 69, even 70. So 7 o'clock at 8 p.m. Could anybody tell me what was on at 7 o'clock on a Sunday? I said 8 p.m., didn't I? I meant 7 p.m. 7 p.m. I can't talk. On a Sunday night.
Well, there was 60 Minutes.
Okay. Mike, you go ahead and chime in, guys. If anybody who's in the chat room, chime in if you know.
Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom.
Was it Wild Kingdom or was it Disney also?
Excellent guess. Well, you both. Ding, 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 ding. There was a third. And I'm not sure when one started, when one ended. Not in length of time, but how long in a season was it on before? Because this is all blending in because I'm not getting the networks. Both of you guys are correct. But there was a third, and that one I was not more into, but that one had me in my recall session recently. And that was Lassie.
Oh, dear God in heaven.
For some reason, I was 7 o'clock on a Sunday evening. I was watching Lassie, but Jerome's correct because at that time he said Disney, but it was The Wonderful World of Color before they changed The Wonderful World of Disney, which amazingly, I was around when that happened. And Rose, what did you say? Oh, you said Mutual of Omaha's
Wild Kingdom.
And I just happen to have loved that. I love
We watched that all the time when I was a kid. I remember watching it all the time.
Almost made me buy insurance, but I was too young.
I think we actually did have it for a little bit. Mutual of Omaha.
Mutual of Omaha, yeah. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we should not have any problems because I am on a brand new laptop, a lovely 17-inch laptop with 20 gigs of memory in it. My computer guy said, whatever you buy new, make sure you buy over 12 gigs. This one had a fantastic price and 20 gigs. So we will see playing out clips how this is working out. But so far, I've been happy with it. So we'll see. Speaking of happy, thank God it ain't me because this is Jerome's turn. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is here on Classic Television Smackdown. We take turns. Luckily, there's a week in between whoever's next turn it is. That gives us pretty much a break because I think we probably have a conniption if we were doing every Friday and every Saturday. I'm pretty sure we will. But, it's Jerome's turn. And Jerome obviously has something that he'd like to share with the audience on tonight's show. Jerome, what the hell are you doing tonight?
Well, tonight I decided I looked around at what we normally do. And I looked at the shows and I looked at everything. And it dawned on me that most of us weren't around when the big three networks were created, but we were all around when the fourth network was created, and that would be the Fox network. In 1986, the Fox network was launched by Rupert Murdoch and Barry Diller. They started it shortly after buying 50% of the 20th Century Fox Corp. They basically then at the same time that they bought that, they bought a whole mess of television stations throughout the country. They had some fights with some legal fights as to some sites that they couldn't get the TV stations. Up here in Boston was one of them. And in 1987, they launched their primetime regular shows. In 1986, they started their first show. So it was a very dribs and drabs thing. And it later, as we all know, became the powerhouse that it is now. So we're going to talk about the early year of the Fox network. So I have a question for the audience and for my co-hosts.
Yeah.
Do you know what the first show was that aired on Fox?
Yep.
Okay. Well, you do. Of course you do, Mark. You're the one that's running the board. You got my clips.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I forgot. I need to.
Rose, do you know what it was?
I did not read your list, but
okay.
I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna guess Married with Children.
Nope.
Mark? Okay, well, I was wrong because looking at your list now, I did not know this.
Okay.
Which is, I did not know this. I was thinking of something else which you have on the list, so I'll wait until that comes around.
Okay, so it was The Late Show with Joan Rivers. Started on October 9th, 1986.
Edgar, where are you, Edgar?
Okay, so let me explain what happened with Joan and what the sad facts of what happened there. So Joan Rivers was the permanent guest host for those years in the mid 80s for Johnny Carson. whenever Johnny took vacation, got sick, decided he was going to go have an affair with, his soon-to-be Mrs. Wife, whatever, he basically took off and Joan showed up. Well, in 1985, NBC would not give her a guarantee of being the guest host again. And so Fox decided to go and, woo her back, and she signed with them for $15 million. And in 1886, $15 million was quite a lot of sum. Now, the problem was Fox had a non-disclosure agreement that Joan Rivers couldn't talk to anybody about it, which meant that she couldn't tell Johnny Carson about it. Everybody else that had guest hosted on his show told him that they were going off to do their own show, and he supported them. He was happy. But because she couldn't tell him, Carson was pissed, and it basically caused a falling out with them, and they never talked again. Okay. Now, behind the scenes.
Go ahead.
What? Go ahead. What were you saying?
Oh, nothing. Something was bleeding over on you.
Oh, okay.
I saw.
Okay. So the problem is she was a direct threat to Carson, which wasn't really a case. Johnny Carson was king of late night for a reason. Carson was basically kind of a jerk about it, the way it worked out. But when Rivers started, the show was a phenomenal hit for about first 3 or 4 months. Took some serious numbers, did really well. But unfortunately, Rivers' husband and the network head, Barry Diller, butted heads heavily. And so which is what caused her to get fired, because they basically said to her, either he goes or you go. And she basically said, okay, I'm done. And the last show, they basically decided to wreck the stage. They brought in a series of guest hosts, one of which was a future Arsenio Hall. So he got his start in there. Yeah. Now, people will say in the industry that she got let go because the ratings were falling, but that was expected. They knew that was going to happen. They had planned for that. And it was whatever. So go ahead and run the first clip. You can stop it after about 2.5 minutes. Okay. He's going to dig that clip up. There we go. Okay. There you go.
Live from Fox Television Center in Hollywood, it's The Late Show starring Joan Rivers. Joan's guests tonight are David Lee Roth, Pee Wee Herman, Elton John, and Cher.
What a lineup.
Yeah.
And the Tramp. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Joan Rivers.
I love her hair. It's that very 80s. Look at all those 80s hair. There's some serious hole in the ozone there.
How much up on that?
Yeah.
Can we talk?
That's a lot of guests for one show.
Well, they went through them fairly quick.
Yeah, he does, Mike.
I have a whole, you bought my book, thank you. I have a whole monologue, which you won't do tonight. It's been 5 months, and so much has been said, and so much has been written, and I am just so happy to be here, and I thank you all so much.
So this went on like this, it was popular, and it'll go on. You can stop it whenever you want. Okay. So as you can see, people were really glad to see it. It was the first real threat to Johnny. But like I said, some of the people were just jerks about it. Even Letterman was a jerk to Joan about this whole thing. And it was no threat to him either. But it was an interesting show. It was, like I said, the first of the late night wars that started, and it led to a number of other things. All right, on to the next show. So, what do you think was the next show that came out?
I'm not going to look at the list, but I will guess. I don't even remember your list, so this is honest. I'm going to say Tracy Ullman.
Rose?
21 Jump Street?
Nope. But it was a two-part answer. It was Tracy Ullman, and it was also this next clip, Married with Children. So go ahead and run the next clip. And now I want you to watch this clip because this clip's going to be fun because a future superstar is on this clip from the 90s and the early aughts.
Okay. You guys time it for me. And click.
Okay, here we go. And there we go. 2 seconds.
That's my date. Tell him I am not home.
Why don't you tell him?
Good idea. I am not home.
Aha!
Then is it okay if I wait?
Mom? If my mixed up at the hospital theory is correct, I'd say we just found Kelly's natural brother.
So, just where were you while I was wasting my life away with my family?
Well, I wanted to get you something nice.
Garfield spoils the picnic.
That crazy cat gets into everything from the potato salad to the sack races.
No boy's ever brought me literature before.
I love this show.
Well, my family believes
Tell me when.
words.
Anytime you want, it's okay.
I'll mute while you talk.
Okay, so this show, which is great, ran for 11 seasons, 259 episodes. Okay, now there was one episode that aired once because of controversy, and it also caused some controversy where a parent group decided to, boycott this one. There was cast changes mainly from the Darcy family. It gave us Christine Applegate, Ed O'Neill, and Katie Seagal. And it was a groundbreaking show. People at the time, this went head to head with Roseanne, and Married with Children actually aired before Roseanne did. And so while Roseanne got all the credit, Married with Children was on longer, and I think had a more bigger influence than Roseanne did. Okay.
I have to say that he acts just like Joey Tribbiani in this episode.
Yeah, I was gonna say not much of a stretch, was it?
Well, that's probably how he got his job.
Yeah. Yeah.
The producer said that's exactly who we need.
Yeah. So it was, it was an interesting show. Like I said, they pushed the boundaries on sex hugely. Some of the stuff that they did.
We enjoyed that show.
Yeah.
That was a family show. We used to watch that together.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
It was crass, and my dad liked that crass humor.
Yeah, and that was the whole point. It wasn't intended to be highbrow. This was lowest common denominator. Yes,
I know
Mark.
you hate it.
I'm sorry, but at the time I thought I was the only one that put my hand down the front of my pants. It's like this guy has copied my style, man, my swagger.
And what was funny was as you watch the two kids grow, the characters actually had development. Bud got smarter and basically became the brains of the family. And Kelly did not become the model. She ended up as a waitress. And if you actually watch the first couple of episodes, Kelly is actually pretty smart. They dumbed her down as time went on.
Wow. She probably just got too pretty and they didn't know what to do with that.
That's pretty much what I'm thinking also. So but any other thoughts on this? Anybody in the audience want to say something? Mike, Brady?
Yeah, it was a groundbreaking show, and I think that Fox is probably responsible for all of these type of shows that all the Karens in the world probably would have come out in arms.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
I know you're going to get
sure that was many a writing campaign.
Yes. And I know you're going to get to probably I don't know if that's the biggest culprit, but let's say another culprit of just dumbing down America.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. So
Yeah. But I mean, if you look at it, this one, yeah, I know.
how dare she, right?
But I mean, if you think about it, this show though was designed basically to bring in an audience. It wasn't designed like the Cosby Show, which was a high end show. It wasn't designed for any of the other shows of the time. It was designed to bring an audience. It was designed to bring in middle America,
and it did.
That.
It did
exactly. Now, the next one is the one Mark said.
Yep.
Tracy Ullman Show. Now, the Tracy Ullman Show was the first show to win an Emmy on the Fox network. Okay. It ran for 4 years, 81 episodes, aired in 87. Paula Abdul was the choreographer for all this dance sequences.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It was a standard variety show, music, sketch comedy, so on. But what claim to fame did the Tracy Ullman Show bring?
The Simpsons.
The Simpsons.
And
Please
look at
run
the
clip.
cast. There's I see some of the Simpsons cast right
Exactly.
She looks like a female Gene Simmons in this shot.
If you the guy on the far right is Dan Castanella.
Oh, that sure is.
That's Homer.
Homer.
And the girl on the left is Julie Kavanaugh.
It's Marge.
No, I don't think that's Julie Kavanaugh. That whoever played Lisa. That's Lisa right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's Lisa. Okay. So go ahead and run clip number 3 for me. It's a long clip, but you can stop it when I'm after the first sequence, but I'd like you to stop it actually after the second sequence. You'll see what I mean.
Look at Maggie. What a little bundle of joy. You can tell what it's thinking by its body language. I think its body language is saying, I want to play. This little piggy went to market. This little piggy stayed home. This little piggy had roast beef. And this little piggy had none. And this little piggy went wee, 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 wee. I think its body language is saying, game's over. Look at it, just lying there. I wonder how we look to it. Gooba, gooba, gabba. You're our little sister. Gooba, gabba, gooba, gabba. One of us. Just think, Maggie, someday, if you're lucky, you'll grow up to be just like us. Do you think
okay, you can stop it now if you want.
What's funny when they went gooba gabba and the sister wrong with me, and she went one of us. At that point, when this first premiered, I have never seen Freaks in my entire life. I had no idea what that came from. Didn't relate to it. And it was later on that I actually saw the movie Freaks.
Yeah. What's funny though is that what you just saw were the first two, actually in that clip, was the first 3 clips of the Simpsons.
Wow.
Marge and Homer weren't there. It was just the 3 kids. And you can see the changes from this picture of what they were to what they are now.
Yeah, it's kind of frightening.
It is. Yeah. It's quite a difference.
More pointed grills than, rounded. Homer is kind of close to what we remember.
Yeah.
But look at Granddad. I don't even remember Grandma. Was there Grandma?
There was no Grandma. The people on the left
I see.
are the Tracy Ullman Show version of them.
Got it.
Okay. And the ones on the right are from The Simpsons.
Yeah. They were like, it was cruder animation.
Yeah, very much cruder animation. But it turned into great. And Tracy Ullman was, they did great sketches. We're going to show a piece of my favorite sketch from there. If you can start at about a minute into the sketch. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. It's about a 5-minute long, so I want to just basically get the early stuff out of the way. Thank you, Mike, and for correcting me on who was that in that picture. Okay.
Would you say about a minute?
Yeah, about a minute 7, somewhere in that time frame.
1 minute.
Yeah.
Oop, press play, Mark.
Position? No, nothing like that. I'm just a bad driver. There's no law against being a bad driver, right?
Ms. King, I am Officer Swindell of the Palm Springs Police Department. Officer Donnelly will now administer the field sobriety test.
Oh, no, please. I'm sober. I promise.
Please do exactly what I do to the best of your ability.
I stopped this because I just noticed something. What's the Mike had put up the name that we all got wrong. She was Rhoda's sister.
Yes.
Yes.
It's Rhoda's, the cop on the right now. That's Rhoda's sister.
Yes, it is.
So complicated.
Did it?
Yeah, and you're not wearing heels, right?
I still think she's loaded. Give her something tougher.
Come on.
There's your drunk sobriety test. You want to pass that one, Mark?
Do it or you'll be in a drunk tank.
I'm sorry. I muted it. Did you want me to mute or stop?
No, keep going. There's the best part is about to come up.
Can I go now?
Not so fast. Come on, Donnelly, give her a real test.
This was my favorite sketch of all the Tracy Ullman ones. Think about what you had to do to rehearse this one. Okay, you can stop it at any point. It gets more and more elaborate as it goes on.
She surely isn't drunk, right?
Well, then they. I'm going to reveal how it ends. Basically, they do this elaborate dance sequence, and then basically the other cop makes her have to do a tongue twister, and she goes, "Forget it, I'm drunk." You know. But Tracy Ullman was groundbreaking because it brought back the variety show back in the 80s and hadn't been done in a while. And people watched this thing and loved it. Tracy Ullman had a hit song. She had a hit show. I mean, during these 4 seasons, this was her big thing. And she tried to replicate it on HBO years later, which it didn't work out at all. Part of the reason that it only lasted 4 seasons was Diller was leaving. He wouldn't commit to giving them a 5th season. She wanted to do a 5th. They wouldn't commit to it. So she just said, forget it. I'm not playing this game. And she walked. And that was the end of it.
Wow. Okay.
You know, and as you can see, they're doing more and more complex for the drunk test, you know. So anyway, all right. So Tracy Ullman. Now, the next show was a massive hit. Okay. Now, we talk a lot about shows from the 60s. How many of us here remember the Mod Squad?
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
I watched every episode.
Yep. And 21 Jump Street was basically the Mod Squad of the 80s and 90s.
Woo, yeah.
It gave us Johnny Depp as a star. Okay.
What a great show. I
Now,
love that show.
Did you know that 21 Jump Street had a spinoff?
A spinoff or a remake?
A spinoff.
Was it Stargate Atlantis?
No.
Oh
no, it was Johnny Grieco, right?
Yes,
Johnny Grieco's
it was
show.
Richard Grieco, and it was
Richard
called
Grieco.
Booker.
Booker.
Gates
Now
McFadden from
that,
Star Trek was in it, and it only lasted for a season. But yeah, now in it ran for 5 seasons. Johnny Depp basically walked out on the last season. He wasn't there for season 5. Ran for 103 episodes. He basically, after season 4, said, you know what? I got movie roles. And he and the Korean kid there walked off. Okay. And decided they were done. What you're seeing is basically the later season. I think that's season 4 with Richard Greco. The captain there was not the original guy. They got rid of him after the first season and brought this guy in.
That's Stephen Williams, I believe.
Yeah, I think you're right.
On X-Files. Yeah.
Right, and the what you're going to see is the intro to this 21 Jump. It's from season 1. You're going to see the original cast crew. Johnny Depp was not originally cast on this. Johnny Depp came in as a replacement actor because they didn't like who the kid was that was playing the role that Johnny took. So go ahead and run this.
The actress in this, I think, sang the lead in the song.
Okay.
Her.
So young.
Yeah.
There's your first captain of Jump Street.
Oh, yeah. He's a character actor. Frederick Forrest, yeah. Yeah, Holly Robinson.
Holly Robinson, famous for, well, we'll talk about her in a minute.
Holly Robinson Pete.
Uh-huh.
Oh. And of course, what's his face? The Peter DeLuise.
Peter, yeah. Well, he comes from a family. Well,
that was it.
Okay. So Holly Robinson, known for working on Head of the Class. And wasn't she involved with Tyson? Mike Tyson?
No, not her. But she married a basketball player.
Okay, all right. DeLuise later goes on to Sequest.
Yes, he did.
Yes,
he
did.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
Yes.
And his brother and his father both are actors and directors. And Peter DeLuise also later on went on to become a director himself. Yes, He was Dom DeLuise's son. Now, fast forward to the 2010s, I think it was, or was it the 20aughts where they did the film of 21 Jump?
Yeah.
Now, it took place in the same universe. It was basically 15 years later. Holly,
in the 80s?
Depp, no, it was in the aughts. And Depp, Holly, and the Korean kids whose name I can't pronounce all made cameos as older cops.
Oh, okay.
So, and it was a huge success. And they did a sequel called 22 Jump, which wasn't so successful. So, so thoughts, folks?
I liked this show a lot.
Yeah,
I did too. I watched it mainly
fun,
because it did remind me a bit of Mod Squad.
I watched the first season. After the 3 or 4 of the second season, I just went, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, I didn't watch it all, but I did watch it.
My friends watched this show, so this was something that we talked about, you know. And mostly talked about Johnny.
Was this before or after Edward Scissorhands?
Before. This is what got him those roles. This is what made him the heartthrob. And he hated that. According to everything I read, Depp hated how popular he became with Jump because he was a serious actor. But he later has come to realize that without 21 Jump Street, he would not be the actor we have today.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. I mean, he got his start in Nightmare on Elm Street, the original.
Yeah.
In 84, I think.
It could be. But he wasn't the breakout hit of Nightmare.
No.
No. 21 Jump comes. He's this huge breakout role. He's the heartthrob. He's what everyone was talking about back in the late 80s. And then he leaves and he goes and he does Edward Scissorhands, which cements his abilities into that he can act in with Tim Burton. And then Pirates comes along, and Depp is just basically he's now A-list and sets his own terms.
Yeah, you know who he's dating now, right?
Isn't he dating his lawyer?
His lawyer.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Currently dating his lawyer. Yeah.
Okay.
Or one of his lawyers, shall we say? But yeah.
Yeah. So.
Oh, I love Crybaby. Mike, let's Crybaby. Let me tell
Okay.
you about Johnny Depp and Crybaby real quick. I saw that movie in the theater probably 5 times. I absolutely love that film. That's a John Waters film.
I was going to say, that's a Waters film, wasn't it? Yeah.
Oh, I saw that movie as well. Now that you mentioned
I have not seen it. I have not seen Crybaby.
It's a musical, and so it's just it was so much fun.
Yeah, well, because John Walters is from my city at the time. We know we loved all of his movies right back from
wasn't Divine in there playing like one of the moms?
Yeah, that was based on the Baltimore. It was a movie based on Baltimore, but go ahead.
Yeah, but wasn't it like an American Bandstand thing based on it?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very cute.
All right. So unfortunately, this is going to be a short show because I only have 2 more clips to go.
That's okay.
All right. So think of classic brilliant actors. Okay. Think about Oscar-winning actors. Who is the one actor you think would never do a comedy?
Well, you got to give us more hints than that. I know the answer.
Think Army, 4 stars, tanks.
George C. Scott.
Now, George C. Scott did do a comedy known as Dr. Strangelove.
I've never seen that. Oh, yes. Dr. Strangelove. Yes.
Yep. He was tricked into it, which is another story and another show on itself.
Yeah.
But he did this show in May of 1987 called Mr. President.
Never heard of it.
Okay, it is a true miss, okay? George C. Scott is the president and funny. Conrad Bain of Different Strokes plays his chief of staff.
Wow.
This is his wife. Apparently, in the 2nd season, she divorces him. And Madeline Kahn is the sister-in-law who appears on the 2nd season.
I love Madeline Kahn.
That kid looks familiar. That kid looks familiar.
This show, now this is where you're going to love this. This show was created by Ed Weinberger, who created Taxi and the Cosby Show, and Johnny Carson wrote this. Created this show. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
I don't remember this at all.
This was a true miss of a show. Ran for 2 seasons, 24 episodes. To this day, anybody I talk to that's a Fox Network fan cannot remember the show.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and run the clip. You're going to love this.
Wow.
Now that's your opening. Okay. Cool. Now, basically, they took slams at Congress, the military, the press. They especially love to take shots at the press. But it was kind of a one-note show, you know. I was surprised it lasted 24 episodes. I watched 3 or 4 of the episodes, and I walked away just kind of going, after a while, it wasn't funny.
Yeah.
You know? And nobody to this day remembers this show. You know? And I guess neither of you had ever heard of this or seen this.
Never saw it.
Wow. Yeah, it doesn't ring a bell to me at all.
Yeah.
At all.
Same here.
Okay. All right.
Wow.
So the last clip that I have is a show called Duet. And it's a comedy about basically you follow a couple from their first date through their marriage. Okay. And it's a fun show. I enjoyed at the beginning. I enjoyed the where they did the dating part up until they did like later on and got married. The show kind of lost its focus as time went on. It went on for 3 seasons, 54 episodes, and it shifted to the supporting cast, which was a bunch of yuppie couples. And they really took some shots at it. Trying to think how to describe this. Starts off with the dating. You have her, she has a quirky sister, but again, everything shifts. And then they did, after the 3 seasons were over, they did a spin-off show. Basically, they brought the girl in where she divorced this guy, and they basically did real estate jokes for a season. It was really strange and a grasp. Okay. So go ahead and run this. This is the opening to the 2nd season. I couldn't find the clip for an opening for the 1st season or anything about it. It's hard to find some of these clips.
Pick it up! Pick it up!
Am I watching a soap commercial?
I didn't know what to think, but I was already bored when they hit the first few notes. You know, it's like,
it was cute. I'm telling you, this was a cute little comedy. The first season was a lot of fun. It was because of dating, you know, and they do the usual, the miscommunications and all that stuff. And it was cute. It was heartwarming. It was their tamest show yet.
You know, this show, it digs a little bit into the back of my mind. I might have seen the show, but however, these actors here, especially Mary Page Keller and the other guy, they were like in every. It seemed to be that they would be in every sitcom all around the networks, and whenever they were around, the series bombed.
Exactly. And it was interesting is that the show, actually, the first season got a lot of critical press. The critics loved it. And it was just so weird. Now, remember, this came out in 87. So what we're looking at here is something that's almost 40 years old, you know? And if you remember back in that time frame, you know, of that time frame, this was also the time of moonlighting and stuff like that.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, the romance comedy.
Yeah, exactly.
It was huge in movies. It was just a huge
part
of culture at that time, you know?
Yeah. So yeah, it was weird. It was a strange show. Now, there were also some other ones that were on for a very short time. They did a television series version of Down and Out in Beverly Hills, which I could not find any clips for that. There was a couple of other shows that were I'm looking at the titles and I'm going, never heard of these. And as time went on, Fox got better shows and better ratings, and people started looking at this as an alternative to the big three. And I have to say, Fox did pretty good for themselves.
Hey, it survived, and it's still here, you know.
And it's out. The ratings are outdoing some of the big three. You know.
You know, to be honest with you, I don't watch much network television at all anymore.
Yeah.
But you know, I Fox used to be my go-to back. You know, I liked Firefly for as long as that lasted.
Hey, listen, I was an X-Files fan when that first started.
Gosh, yes.
You know, and I was stunned when they moved it to a Sunday night from Friday night. They put it in Friday night, which was considered the dead zone.
Yeah.
And it survived that first year, and then they moved it to Sunday, and the ratings just went through the roof for X-Files.
I think it what 9 seasons?
Yeah, something like that. I'd have to look it up, but it took a while. And you know, Chris Carter had a number of shows with them, but later, because Fox got themselves, you know, they spent buku dollars to get the football, you know, get football and baseball on their network away from some of the other networks. and they just spent the money to become a big time player, and it shows in their shows.
Right.
So there you go, guys.
I really enjoyed this, Jerome. It was a blast from the past. Anytime I can see young Johnny Depp, it's weird.
I could have did without the duets and.
But I gotta say, man, I had a thing for Holly Robinson, man. She was smoking.
Yeah, she was.
Oh yeah, she's a good singer too. She's very talented.
I didn't notice she could sing. So there you go. Say what?
I said she was pretty.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's very pretty.
But like I said, I don't have.
Ah!
There's the X-Files. But that was
talking.
later. That was in the 90s that showed up. The X-Files showed up.
Right.
Okay. Now I have that. By the way, I have that poster.
Oh yeah, that's a cool poster.
It is.
So when
that was my show, man.
Yeah.
So when did Tracy Ullman? You said when did Tracy Ullman start?
Tracy Ullman was
87.
Yeah. No. April 5th of 1987.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's the thing is that she was one of the first ones, and it went like crazy. By the way, X-Files was September 10th, 93.
Okay.
So
93. Okay,
93,
sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Long time. When I first heard Scully speak, I freaked out.
Hey, but
she's British too.
Yeah, I thought X-Files really lost its focus near the end there.
Let me tell you something. I got married on a Saturday, okay? I was crushed that I missed the episode because I was at my my dinner, the dinner that we have before the wedding,
the rehearsal dinner.
I was just like, I was so upset because it was a new episode. I'm like, I can't see it again, because back then, you didn't have the way you can watch stuff immediately afterwards anymore.
But if you look at Fox, I mean, they really pushed, because they were the new network. They took a lot of chances in those early years.
They did take a lot of risk in television that you wouldn't see on the big three.
I mean, if you look at the X-Files, and again, the X-Files showed up basically 5 years after they launched. Okay, you look at them; they were on a Friday night. It was their programming time. Nobody was watching it. It survived that Friday night thing for at least 2 years that I'm aware of, and they moved it to Sunday to keep it running. Most networks would have killed it after the first season. Okay.
Oh, hell yeah. And you know what? Married with Children would have never survived on the big three because as soon as a writing campaign came in, they would just back off.
Right.
Oh, advertising dollars.
But which is funny though, from what I read is that campaign to ban Married with Children actually saved the show because the ratings were starting to go down. The campaign happened. People went, "Hey, I want to go see what this was," and the ratings came back up.
Yes, but at least what I'm saying is Fox took the chance and didn't yank it right away, and they would have. I know.
Yeah, and like I said, Fox is known for taking those chances. Now, unfortunately, they've become very conservative on the shows that they air. They've become like the big three. But in those early days, those first 10 years, they had some of the more interesting shows, some of the more interesting science fiction, some action adventures. Their comedies were always real hit and miss. But they did do some stuff. They were known for bringing back animation with the Simpsons.
Oh my gosh, I thought of one.
Yeah.
Herman's Head.
Herman's Head. I loved Herman's Head.
I loved Herman's Head.
The first season of Herman's Head was brilliant. Then they decided to go to a darker tone.
That was really early too. That must have been like one of the first shows, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed that show.
Yeah, let me see when that came in here.
I think that the actress that plays the voice of Lisa Yeardley was one of the people in his head.
Yeah. There we go. Let's see if I can find it. There it is. 91.
91. Okay.
And again, basically, for those of you who don't know what Herman's Head is, what was the last Pixar one with the same type of thing happening?
Inside Out.
It was basically Inside Out, only with adults.
Yep.
Okay.
I remember that one. Yeah.
You know, and that was, and again, the first season, I was on the floor laughing all the time.
Yeah.
And then as they went on, I just, they kind of lost the focus of the humor. But yeah, early days of Fox, definitely if you could find some of them. I'll tell you another one that I loved in the early days was had Tina Leona on it. Can't think of the name of it.
Yeah, I can't think of it either, but I know what you're talking about.
Oh my God, was it like cold shower time when she was on the show? Yeah, but
she was married to David Duchovny for a bit there.
Yeah. So anyway, there you go.
All right,
guys. Here's my show.
Great show, Jerome. Moving on to tomorrow morning's show, Saturday Morning Cartoons. We will not see Rose on tomorrow's Saturday Morning Cartoons.
Sad face.
She's off having fun somewhere else with other people cheating on us, but that's okay. But we will have, along with Jerome and myself, we're going to have Mark Street and Joe Thompson on.
Oh, dear God in heaven.
It's going to be the Mark and Joe show. They have chosen a few videos they'd like to talk about tomorrow. So we're still going to have a great show, as always, on Saturday Morning Cartoons. So see us in the morning. Next week, Roses and Reactions returns, right?
Yes.
Rose? And what's your show?
We are doing the Transformers cartoon, and you are a special guest, October 1st, 7 o'clock.
That's because I'm more than meets the eye.
Rachel is really looking forward to this one. This is her baby. I'm not the one who's the Transformers fan in the house. As you can see, if you go to our page, you can see a video that she forced me to do. So I can name all the Autobots or whatever.
Yeah,
and,
we'll show that.
I failed horribly. I know.
That. I know you did. I asked for you to be put up for adoption. We'll show that tomorrow.
But then
Yeah, we will show that tomorrow, and then we'll see. Will these show up? Oh, yes, they will. Mike, okay. All his emojis. Yeah, and then in 2 weeks, of course, we return. Jerome's. No, it's not. It's
mine.
It's Rose's turn.
No, it'll be your.
Is it mine?
Oh yeah, for what? Classic television?
I did Tony Dow.
That's right. It's yours. It's Mark's turn.
It's mine. So who knows what we'll see then in 2 weeks. Well, thank you everyone for joining us tonight for Classic Television Smackdown. And what we'll do is we will see you first thing in the morning. I got some business to take care of. So thank you guys for joining us, Classic Television Smackdown, once again for a great show on your past.
Out of the blue of the western sky comes Sky King, as we say here in the West.